Jason, thank you so much for joining us. The former director of DEA's Special Operations Division and executive director at PenLink, Derek Maltz, is going to join us a little later. But I want to start with you. What's going on right now with this actual border issue? You have Kamala Harris going overseas, basically trying to help Europe deal with their migrant crisis. We've got fentanyl crossing our southern border. Yeah. It is completely out of control, and somehow no one has put two and two together that when you have an open border and drug dealers are basically walking across the border writ large, people are going to get hurt.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, hats off to you, because once again, one of the things that's affecting every American in this country is the fentanyl crisis. And that is all as a direct result of this degraded border and two cartels, specifically Cartel Jalisco New Generation and the Sinaloa Cartel with their mega labs for producing these synthetic opioids. And we see it in the data. It's not a perception. This is the important thing that I think we really got to have a discussion about in this country. The CDC now shows that from March of 2020 to March of 21, 96,000 Americans have died from overdoses. Never mind those who are directly and really affected, who are being burned up with their brains from methamphetamine under the new P2P method of producing methamphetamine. So we're seeing things we've never seen before. And, why our vice president is going over to France, I'm surprised France would even invite her over at this point, as bad as our border crisis, when we've apprehended 1.7 million people this fiscal year under their policies. And I have to tell you, I say this all the time. When I tell you we've never been here before, that's according to the data from the government, CBP and CDC. So Americans are being affected by this border crisis, and we've got to recognize it and attack the problem.
I mean, if you really break this down, what's happening here, it makes absolutely no sense, right? When you talk about the hundreds of thousands of gotaways that have crossed our southern border and evaded capture, those are just the ones that we know about. We talk about, to your point, the 1.8 million encounters on the southern border. No one seems to care about the fact that individuals are coming here from nations with high rates of COVID infection, with very little COVID vaccination system in place. If they're going to tell us that children should be vaccinated 5 to 11. If they're running clinical trials on vaccinating infants right now to try to figure out if there is a justification to do that, how in the world do they somehow think that it is okay to have all of these individuals come into this country without mandating that they get vaccinated, without mandating that they be wearing masks 24 hours a day, without making sure that those individuals have the same precautions to this global virus than our citizens do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a double standard in it. A reasonable and prudent person out there recognizes that none of this is making sense, but it has consequences. Here's one of the things right now that I'm looking at that I'm very concerned about, and that is that these vaccine mandates, we're about to lose thousands of men and women from the United States Customs and Border Protection. And I mean thousands. As of this morning, I've been talking to CBP agents in McAllen Station. They have around 710, 750 employee agents working the line. They're about to lose 510 as of right now by November 22nd.
Right.
And so that is a major national security concern. And where is the DHS secretary to explain what they're going to do to mitigate the thousands of CBP agents we may lose? I can't stress enough the importance of this, because the cartels don't walk around with the Born to Lose tattoo stamped on their forehead like many of our U.S.-based gangs. These people are very strategic. They know exactly what they're going to do. And I can tell you, as somebody that has built programs to go after them, they're going to be prepared for this, and they're going to take complete advantage of our southwest border.
Absolutely. I mean, from the drugs to the potential threat of terrorism, again, we have to get it right every day. They only have to get it right one time. Yeah. And as you see the rising rates of these overdoses, it seems as if we're getting it wrong far too often. Jason, as always, thank you, my friend. God bless. We'll talk to you again soon.
It's good to be with you. Thanks for having me.